Epic chess battle alert. We have here the clash of the titans in the semi-final stage of chess.com's Bullet Chess Championship in 2023. We have here the amazing match between the strongest player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, against probably the strongest fast time format player, Alireza. And in the other semi-finals, it's not easier. We have the epic clash between Daniel Naroditsky against Hikaru Nakamura. So it's really a heated situation on chess.com, and we're following now, first of all, the epic match between Magnus Carlsen and Alireza Firouzja. The match finished an hour ago, and in my opinion, it was really, really beautiful to see these two guys battling it out in really fast time format chess. The game were really heated, of course, with some inaccuracies, mistakes, and blunders, but this is part of the game, in my opinion. Really a beautiful, beautiful match to follow. So let's dive into two games. I've prepared two games, then I will reveal you the result of the semi-final stage. Now we're starting with a game in which Magnus Carlsen played with the white pieces and Alireza Firouzja with the black pieces. The game started as the common Spanish game, the Rui Lopez. We have the Murphy defense, and after a couple more moves, we have reached now the Anderson variation with the move c3, trying of course to get the bishop here on c2, kingside castling, rook to e1, knight to d2, knight to f1, so normal development in the Rui Lopez. So in the continuation, we have bishop to e7, castling, both players play solid chess, of course. We have a rook to e1, improving the position of the rook to e8, and now this idea, knight to d7, knight to d2, we have h6, knight to f1, with the preparation to reroute the knight maybe here on this weak square on f5. b5 by Alireza, hitting the bishop drops back to c2, and now after bishop to f8, we have a certain tension by these two rooks on the e file, but of course one player has to now make a decision who will eventually break now the position in the center of the board with the move d5 or maybe with the move d4. After move knight to g3 that Magnus played, maybe immediately Magnus wanted to jump with the knight to f5. Here Alireza breaks the position immediately. He says, I'll not wait anymore. I still have two good bishops here on natural diagonals. We have good two knights on natural squares. The queen is very good so far. Rook is also having some kind of activity. So Alireza makes now a huge decision, in my opinion. Perfect play so far, because you have to be active in these types of structures. So a4, Magnus control plays on the flanks. We have now the move b4 passing through. We have a5. Magnus is now occupying some spaces on the queen side, and now after move bishop to e6, now comes this idea by Magnus, bishop to a4, hitting the knight. Of course, Alireza retreats, protects the knight. After e takes d5, we have now the move knight to d5. The problem for Magnus here in this particular position is that you cannot take out this one, bishop to c6. You would love maybe to pick up now this one, but b takes c3 is very dangerous. If you play even something like here knight takes c6, then queen to f6, first of all attacks the knight, and now there is this threat of c takes b2, and in my opinion not a good game anymore here for Magnus Carlsen. So that's why after move knight to d5, here first protecting now the pawn on c3. Here we have also this idea, b takes c3. You have to again pick it up, b takes c3, so a couple of trades of pawns here on the c file, and now bishop to d6. Finally Alireza protects now the pawn on e5. So we have now h3, prophylactic idea by Magnus, not allowing this bishop to pin the knight on f3. We have knight to f6, and now after move knight to e4, here again a couple of trades of pieces, but now Magnus, in my opinion, makes a huge decision, plays now the move rook to e4. Maybe a slightly better approach would have been d takes e4. Of course, you're keeping your structure weak a little bit. You have this weak pawn on a5. You have also the pawn on c3. But when you play the move rook to e4, your rook gets a little bit exposed. So you played with the rook, probably you'll play again with the rook. So here Alireza uses now this moment and plays now a beautiful move, knight to b8. What he's trying to do is to get rid of this annoying bishop. Magnus Carlsen's bishop on a4 is really a monster. So that's why he's trying to trade it off and simplify the game. Good choice, I think. But Magnus is of course trying to keep the pieces on the board. We have bishop to f5. So as we said, the rook is a little bit exposed here in the center of the board. We have rook to e3. Magnus is desperately trying to keep now the rook active somehow in the center of the board. Knight to d7 by Alireza. He wants now to get use of the c5 square, then hit the pawn on d3 and also maybe the bishop on b3. Magnus plays now bishop to c4, protects everything, knight to f6, and now after queen to e2, now the fun starts. So we have seen now really sort of a tasting it out a little bit here. No one wanted to risk anything. Now the position is a little bit simplified, but of course still this position is dynamic, especially because of the possibility of blacks to maybe push the pawn on e4, and that's exactly what a dynamic player like Alireza is always doing. When he has the chance to break and enter, he will do it. He will not hesitate. He will find simply his opportunities to create madness in the center of the board. Imagine now the same position if Magnus would have had maybe the pawn on e4. No breakthroughs would be possible. Now from this point on, I think Alireza feels more and more comfortable in this particular position. So e4 immediately, beautiful breakthrough. We have knight to d4. Now comes bishop to g6, retreating with the bishop, and now Magnus makes a huge mistake with the move rook to e1. And this next move will actually really show the greatness of Alireza Firouzja, because look at this. Alireza Firouzja has now the immediate opportunity to play the move bishop to f4, but I'm sure that Alireza didn't have even this move in the radar, because Alireza had a different, deeper, really wilder tactical idea in mind. Probably he missed it somewhere, but as I said, bishop to f4 is immediately, I think, winning, trapping the rook. Magnus exposed this rook too much. But here Alireza played now e takes d3, opening up now the e file, because Alireza sensed a different kind of tactic. Pay good attention, please, here, because it's really wild how Alireza is playing the game. So as I said, he missed the obvious bishop to f4 move, but he sees basically the immortal tactical sequence here. Really, really wild stuff. After move e takes d3, now Magnus again makes a mistake, bishop to d3. The only way to survive this game is to play rook to e8, trading off more pieces and now simplify the game. Black should be slightly better because of this extra pawn on d3, but nothing special. Maybe white can survive this position, but now after move bishop to d3 that Magnus Carlsen played, maybe you can pause the video and try to see now the winning sequence here for black. Black moves and wins the game. So try to see now the best move here for black. Alireza saw that immediately, and this was his own idea. That was his idea in the first place. He never really wanted to go for the stupid rook on e3. He had, as I said, a different beautiful idea in mind. Okay, here comes the stunner, rook to e3, and in the beginning it doesn't seem that it's something special, but you have to play this move because the rook is also the protector of the bishop on d3. Now after bishop to e3, now comes bishop to d3, so you see everything is forced that Alireza is doing. But now after queen to d3, now comes the beautiful move c5. You see now this d file will be opened. If you move the knight maybe somewhere with knight to f3 or something, then you get this one, bishop to h2, and the queen is hanging. We have a beautiful and monstrous discover attack by the bishop. So in the game, Magnus tried now to spice up the game, somehow bishop to h6, but now after g takes h6, actually in this position, Magnus Carlsen resigns. So beautiful, beautiful tactical sequence. So let's see it again. After bishop to d3, rook to e3, this was the way to go. Now c5 simply wins the game. So let's see now another game, and I think Magnus was a little bit frustrated after this loss, because he had his chances in the game, messed it up, created really a dynamic position, but you see Alireza loves the dynamic game and simply outplayed Magnus in the middle game stage in the tactical battle. So now we are following a game in which Alireza plays now with the white pieces and Magnus Carlsen plays now with the black pieces. Alireza opened with move e4, we had the Sicilian, and after a couple more moves, the game transposed into the Dragon Sicilian. You see, the engine now these days doesn't like the Dragon Sicilian anymore. If you are playing maybe the Dragon Sicilian, or you're trying to play this fianchetto idea in the Sicilian, choose to play the accelerated or the hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian, where you have immediately the opportunity to break and enter with the move d5 without playing the move d6. So if you are interested into this opening, please check out my series, the hyper accelerated Dragon Sicilian. From black's perspective, you have really more than 40 videos in this opening. You can have, I think, a good preparation with the black pieces. So after move g6, the bishop to e3, here Alireza is preparing the so-called Yugoslav attack, queen to d2, g4, h4, h5, trading off the bishops, maybe even, as we always like to say, delivering deliver this checkmate idea by creating a rook and queen battery on the h file. So this is now their normal idea. So Magnus plays now a6, wants to counterplay now on the queen side. So f3, we have bishop to g7, queen to d2, h5. Magnus blocks now the potential progress here of black with the move g4. It's not allowing this common Yugoslav attack move. We have now bishop to e2 by Alireza. Now after move b5, a huge decision by Alireza. He changes now the direction of the game. He doesn't castle queenside. Really interesting and surprising move here by Alireza. In my opinion, perfectly fine, because Magnus played many good defensive moves now in order to prevent the Yugoslav attack. But okay, you have prevented the Yugoslav attack. The Drang Sicilian, it's not only about the Yugoslav attack. Now, by pushing these pawns too much here, a6, b5, h5, there's so many weaknesses now in the position. I would say there are many light square weaknesses. There are even many dark square weaknesses. So from this point on, Alireza sensed that he has a better structure, that he has a better activity, and that's why after move castling, he plays now the beautiful move a4. And forces now Magnus to react by creating an attack against this hook, this a6, b5 structure. You have to now make a decision. If you take it out, of course, then after rook takes a4, you have a weak pawn on a6. If you don't react, if something like, I don't know, a takes b5 happens, you don't have only worries about the square b5, you have also worries about the a file. So that's why Magnus pushed it here with move b4. Alireza retreats, but also attacks now the pawn back. And now after move a5, here Alireza tricked a little bit Magnus Carlsen and exposed him further. Now again, new structural weaknesses in the position of blacks in the game c3, b takes c3, knight to c3, and now obviously there is a huge hole in Magnus Carlsen's position. It's of course the weak b5 square. Magnus tries to simplify the game by trading off more pieces, but now Alireza finds this beautiful square, and now comes again a new blunder here by Magnus Carlsen, which Alireza immediately used and won the game. So pause the video again and try to see now the winning idea here for white. White moves and wins the game is, I think, here obvious idea. So nothing can be done. It's a forced tactical sequence. Okay, here Alireza plays knight to c6. You don't have good squares. All of the squares are taken here. This square on c8 is taken because you cannot. Then you get knight to e7. Magnus tried queen to e8, but now knight to c7 happens. Again, the new fork. You have to step back, and now after move knight takes e7 here in this particular position, Magnus Carlsen resigns. So, what you say? Alireza won his match against Magnus Carlsen in the Bullet Chess Championship semi-finals with the result 13 wins against Magnus Carlsen's 10 wins. Fully deserved win, I think, here for Alireza. He shows his skills in this fast time format chess. He's really incredible how Alireza can calculate the position. It's really incredible. He sometimes really plays these games without inaccuracies, mistakes, or blunders. Like, for instance, this game, he's playing really sharp tactical chess. Congratulations. And in the finals, he's meeting his arch enemy, I would say. He's facing Hikaru Nakamura. The battle that probably we have been waiting for. This is top elite in bullet chess, so the finals will be amazing in my opinion for sure, with again incredible games. But you see, it's a different format, many mistakes, inaccuracies, blunders are happening, but still I think we can see cool but also instructive games here. I think Alireza showed us here also a beautiful way how to play against the Drang Sicilian, for instance. So congratulations again to Alireza. He has now reached the finals and he's really in top shape. I'm really glad that Alireza is back now fully in chess. He had his break in this year, but let's see, in classic time format chess, rapid chess, bullet chess, blitz chess, Alireza is still the beast. So he is of course also the favorite to win the whole thing here. So what to say, Magnus Carlsen is out, but Magnus had good weeks also in some other tournaments, so probably it wasn't his best tournament. Magnus is still also very aggressive in some other time formats, but so far it didn't work here in the match against Alireza Firuza. So if you want to see more analyzed games here on my YouTube chess channel, check out our coverage. Here are some games from my playlist, and if you want to see maybe some other top engine cool games which are really crazy, you can also check it out. Here's the link of our other plays here on my YouTube chess channel. And if you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and what do we say? Chess is the best, of course.